City of Stevens Point Police and Fire Commission meeting, recorded March 5, 2024.
We'll call to order the March 5th, it's not March. Is it March?
Yeah.
It is March. March 5th, 2024, Police and Fire Commission. First on the agenda is roll call. Candy, if you could please call the roll.
Kirschling.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Rosick. Here. Ostrowski.
Here.
Zenner.
Here. Second on the agenda, everybody's present and accounted for. Second on the agenda is the President's report, and I was asked to keep the meeting short and sweet, so I really have nothing to report today anyways. So we'll keep it short and sweet. Number 3 on the agenda is discuss the date for the next Police and Fire Commission meeting due to the election on Tuesday, April 2nd. Does anyone have conflicts on their calendars for that week? Suggestions of when you would like to have the meeting? Anyone?
You want to do it the following, the following Thursday or the following Tuesday?
What dates do you mean by the following? That same week or the?
That same week and then the following Tuesday.
Thursday that week would be the 4th, the following Tuesday would be the 9th.
Well, which one works for you guys?
Would this have any bearing on the chiefs to what you need from us, if anything, going to the other committees?
It wouldn't for me,
Okay.
not for April.
All right, so how does Thursday look for everybody? Thursday the 4th, 2 o'clock.
Sounds good.
That work for everybody?
Looks like no opposition.
Is this room free Thursday the 4th? We forgot to look at that,
I'll double check, but I think so.
but I think it is,
Yeah.
so. All right, tentatively, we will schedule next month's meeting for Thursday the 4th at 2 o'clock in this room. Very good. Any other discussion on that? All good? Excellent. Moving right along, agenda item number 4 is the approval of last month's minutes. You should have those in your packet, had time to review them. Any comments, questions, motion?
Make a motion to approve Morozic.
Seconds are. We have a motion and a second to approve. Any comments or questions about the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Agenda item number 5. Mr. Ostrowski, the confirmation of bills.
Does this mean since we're moving so quickly, I get a longer time?
You take as much time as you like.
Just was wondering about that. In your packet, first one up is the ambulance service. Nothing there jumps out. Everything pretty well normal, other than a few, I see Station 1 had another breakdown or repair. But they're all in all, the ambulance service has no problems going forward on the budget. Moving on to the fire department, again, the monthly bills, no problem, but I do want to point out on the, when you go to the second page of that one on January's, you see about halfway down, general fire equipment at 291% of budget. That's not taken into account the grant money that we got. It will be way back in line. I don't agree with how our treasurer puts in bills, but he doesn't put in credits. So just want to point that out, that the department is not out of whack completely. Going on to the police department budget, there is only one thing that I would like the chief to point out on the second page for the HVAC upgrade. A couple of bills totaling a little over $14,000.
Correct. After we took this building over in 2017, it remained with the same HVAC system that we've had when it was Mid-State Technical College. We needed an entire new upgrade computer system for the HVAC system, and also several RTU units, the rooftop units, had valves replaced, and that is where that total comes from.
Okay, so with that, I would recommend that we approve the bills as submitted.
Kirschling, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the bills. Do we have any further comments or questions about the bills? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Moving right along.
The room is open on that day,
Oh,
so yes.
I've just been informed that the room is open, so we'll be able to have the meeting April 4th. Agenda item number 6, ratification of the 2024-2025 collective bargaining agreement between the City of Stevens Point and the Stevens Point Police Officers Organization. Chief, quick little synopsis.
Yes, there was very few language changes that we requested, and through mediation, we were able to come to an agreement for a wage scale. And I'm just looking for approval from the PFC to get that signed so we can get that implemented.
Very good. I would recommend that all of you put this in a safe spot so you can refer to it when you need it. I know you have digital copies now with a couple other issues that haven't been corrected, but this is the finalized copy that you have now on paper. So hold on to it, you'll need it, and make sure that you find the one for the fire department, and hold on to that one too. Do we have any motions?
I'll make a motion to accept the ratification of the 2024-2025 collective bargaining agreement between the City of Stevens Point and the Stevens Point Police Officers Organization.
Okay, we have a motion from Mrozek. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Ostrowski. Any comments or questions? Anything that you
I have one quick question.
Sure.
Have we ever gone past 2 years?
We have, very seldom, but we have done 3-year contracts in the past.
Okay. Is that just depends on who, or what the chiefs want and then what the union wants?
The bargaining
Yes.
committee.
With the bargaining
Okay.
and with the city attorney now,
Okay.
because he's doing most of the bargaining now.
Okay.
So, but we could have some input in that in the future if you want it. One of the reasons I said to hang on to this is because as you go forward from here, cleaning this one up and moving forward with better improvements and keeping up with what is being bargained will be a lot easier than what we've had in the past.
That makes sense.
So, yes, Mr. Zunner.
Chief, where does this put us now with the final wages in comparison with our comparables?
It moves us up. We're not at the bottom. We're getting closer to the middle.
Okay. Is that consistent with the pay plan? I guess I'm not familiar with where
It
the pay
is.
plan is.
It's not consistent with the city pay plan. What they did is they put us at the top at 100% basically. But it's right, it's moving in the right direction. I can kind of go over the wages real quick. A lot of departments in Wisconsin are averaging 3% a year increases. The comptroller, city attorney, and then Jim Macy, the attorney that they hired for bargaining, agreed upon over the next 2 years, our lieutenant 3-year, our lieutenant new, and our sergeants will be getting a 10.5% increase in pay over the next 2 years, which is much more than what the average police department is getting in Wisconsin to move us up. And then our 7-year officer is getting a 9% increase over the next 2 years, and then 7 years and under, or 6 years, and they are getting a 8% raise. And so we were failing up on the top rung, not on the lower, and so this is putting us more competitive in the group.
Okay.
This should also then make us look better to stay longer, right?
Absolutely.
Any further comments or questions about ratification? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Agenda item number 7 is the fire chief's report. Chief Moody, floor is yours.
All right. We had many milestones hit this past month within the firehouse. As you can see, motor pump operator Ben Schultz was promoted to lieutenant. The Academy Class 2401 graduated, with a majority of them now after graduation and doing their 6 shifts, counting as a third, have been moved out and are on shift counting as minimum personnel. Jen Petkoff was appointed to the field training paramedic position. Dustin Fleisner was appointed to the motor pump operator position. Also, Deputy Fire Marshal and our EM Coordinator, Justin Malin, will be giving a comprehensive report on his findings next month during the April's meeting, after he's got this put together on the ice storm that occurred on December 31st of this last year, taxing all of our agencies here within the county. Training hours continue to go up and stay steady, so that's an increase, and due to the Division Chief of Training making sure those JPRs are put together and the training schedules are out and our members are out actually doing the training. In the continuum packet, you'll see that calls continue to increase. And if you really look at the numbers closely, you'll see that in February on page 2 we had 114 calls, and on page 3 there's 115. That is actually correct. On page 2, under incident type categories, we only are comparing 1 through 700 series calls. There is also an 800 and 900 series. That one call dumped into one of those types of calls. But with that, I'd like to point out our working fires for this year are up 66.67%, and our good intent calls or service call, or actually our good intent calls are up 84%, and our service calls are up 450%. Overall, the fire department has seen a 54.05% increase this year in our call volume, and we're expected to hit over 6,000 calls by the end of the year. So a significant increase when we come to the responses and the calls for service within our organization. Also, last month was Heart Month. Keep the bulbs red on the heart outside of Station 1. We had 6 black bulbs placed this past February. Actually, just happens to be, we went back and ran the data from 2023 as well, and there were 6 bulbs placed in February of 2023. So a pretty consistent month when it came to placing those black bulbs. Under training, I'd like to point out that we did do some anti-harassment training with CIVMIC. They came in and did that training with our organization. And other than that, any questions?
Chief, when you say projected 6,000, you're talking ambulance and fire?
Yes. So last year we were at 5,538 calls, and now this year we're projected to be already over 6,000.
And have you guys seen a trend of what is causing the increase right now? Or is it a little bit of everything?
It trends right out in here. It's our working fires, it's our good intent calls, and then our service calls that are really seeing the significant increases.
Okay.
What's a good intent call? Can you give some examples of what that is?
So, Zavar is not here. I don't know what's classified in that. I can get back to you, though, on the good intent calls, the 600 series. I don't want to misspeak and tell you, because the service calls, I would know what those are, but the good intent calls, I'd have to look back into the NFIRS reports.
If you could bring us definitions of all those categories.
Sure.
That would be very helpful in understanding them better.
I can bring those all next month.
Thank you. Any further questions for the chief?
Are we responding out for the false alarm and false calls? Are those actually having someone, head out for that, or is it just?
No, when we get a false call or an alarm that malfunctions or something like that, what we'll do is initially for the fire department, it'll be a full response.
Okay.
But once we're notified that it is a false alarm or something tripped it, somebody was working, or a dust or debris or something, what we'll do is then we'll just send the closest apparatus, non-emergent. Everyone else returns to their firehouse and their previous assignments, and they'll go in, do the report, and make sure and check everything is okay.
Any other questions? All right, I don't remember, do we have a motion? I don't think so.
I'll Kirschling make a motion to accept the fire chief's report and place it on file.
Okay, we have a motion from Kirschling.
I'll second.
We have a second from Zenner. Any further questions or comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Moving on to agenda item number 8, which is the police chief's report. Chief?
Yes, just a couple things. On February 5th, Officer Lucas Hughes was sworn in here at the police department. And then just yesterday, we had another individual, Clayton Dawson Madison, who actually was sworn in as well. So we're sitting at 44 personnel. On the 6th of February, with our capital request for this year, we did receive our Axon body cameras, and those have all been implemented and are using. Everybody's using it. Everybody was trained on it. Our Axon squad cameras will be hopefully coming in March. It's expected to come in March, so we can make a full rotation of those as well. On the 19th of February, Officer Kim DeRoser, Assistant Chief Williams, and Deputy Sergeant Nikki Lucas went to Midstate and talked to all the female criminal justice individuals at the academy about being female in law enforcement, kind of a really cool thing that they do. On the 20th of February, we had our recognition banquet for the auxiliary for all the donating hours, for the chaplains who obviously assist us in those critical incidents when we need them, and individuals that receive challenge coins throughout the year. Any citizen that goes above and beyond the call of what's expected, they receive a coin from us, and then every year we have a banquet for them and show appreciation to them. On the 27th, Sergeant LaRank, Officer Schultz, Officer Marshall, and Officer Kramer, and Lieutenant Johnson, they all participated in a community outreach event at SPASH. They ended up going up there for lunch, playing basketball with a bunch of the students, and just having a really, really fun time. The only other thing is we did send 6 officers today down to Manitowoc. They're meeting with the Two Rivers Police Department, and they're helping with the search of Elijah Vu, who's been missing since, I believe, February 20th. And so we have 6 officers there today helping all day from morning until the evening, and if they need more, we will send more the next couple days as well. And I'm going to finish up on one of the things that was asked of me last year when I became chief, or one of my goals that they set was a lot of individuals have questions about drugs. They don't know what they look like. They don't know how people react to taking certain drugs. A big one is fentanyl. They don't know it's an opiate. It's used for pain medication. There was questions about Narcan, because we call it Narcan, but there's actually another name to it. I can't even tell you what it is off the top of my head. And so the question was posed to be by President Moore, what can we do to kind of educate the public? Lieutenant Johnson kind of took this over, and I assigned him with it. And he reached out to Law Publications, and Law Publications helped us out, reach out to a bunch of businesses in town who donated to Law Publications, and we're able to create a magazine that we have here. We currently have 300, and they will replenish us as many as we need, and we have been handing those out. We brought them already to all the schools. The SROs all have them as well, and it's just it's a letter thanking everybody by me, and then it just kind of talks about what drugs are, what to look for. If you need the resources for help, that's in here as well. So it's just a really neat magazine that was put together, very well done. So Lieutenant Johnson really kind of hit it out the park for that. And so after we're done here, I'll just hand these out. That's it.
Very good. Any questions for the chief on his report today?
I had one thing I wanted to bring up on February 5th.
Yep.
There was a response to the library concerning an individual with an airsoft pistol. What was the background? Was it just a show of force, or was it?
No, it was just an individual. Well, yes, there was obviously some mental health issues, but an individual was wearing that, probably presented as a to look like a real gun, but never drew it. There was no threats or anything like that. It's just a concerned citizen called up stating that there was an individual with a gun on their hip, but it did end up being an airsoft weapon.
Okay.
Do you respond to a lot of calls? I mean, I know.
Denise, you're going to have to speak
Oh,
up.
I'm sorry. Lately, it's been the, some of the incidents I've been having at the public library. Is that becoming more of a hot spot for responses?
It has, but we've been working with the Portage County Sheriff's Department, and they currently hired a security guard that's working there now, full-time during business hours. We have an officer, Mike Ratzik, you've all heard about him. He does an incredible job with the CIT position. He would normally, he's on light duty right now, but he normally goes down there every single day and talks to the individuals that are in there, and walks around the building. And I think with him not being as available as he was and knowing everybody, I think it has gone up a little bit. But again, we're working with the county right now and taking the steps we need to in order to make sure that people do feel safe there.
Chief, does that mean, if I understand right, the inside of the building is the sheriff's department, with the outside, the parking lot and the sidewalks, that's our responsibility?
The entire building is our responsibility. It's within the city limits. Portage County rents that facility, so it's their building, but we actually still have jurisdiction over it. But again, they're actually, they hired a security company, and they do have a guard there that's just going to be walking around, kind of like our auxiliary with our eyes and ears, and they'll call us if something does happen. But a lot of times they can take care of things themselves by approaching an individual and talking to them.
I think that's something the community doesn't fully understand, so I wanted it on a record.
Very good. Chief, could you talk a little bit about the status of where we're at with personnel? I see that we're 5 men down again on the numbers.
Correct. So because we've never got an operational increase in the last 4 years, the max we've ever had was 46. But in 2017, it was brought to the Common Council, and they did approve having 49 as our workforce here. We were able to hire 1 at that point. We got to 46, but we've never been able to get the monies needed to actually get to 49. And so right now, we're actually 2 down. We do have Garrick, who's going to be starting in May after graduating from the university. We also have one of our interns who we are actually going to be putting through the academy based on the MOU in June, so she'll be available in October. But then we also have Officer Christy Arns, who's going to be retiring July 17th, so we'll have another opening as well.
And that's the way it goes.
Yes,
So we get the approval for the position, but we don't get the funding for it.
correct.
There we go. Do we have any other questions? I'll make a motion to accept the report and place it on file.
Second by Morozek.
Second by Morozek. Any other questions, comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Agenda item number 9, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.
A video of this meeting is available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.